Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday, the 6th of July. So looking at the euro dollar first, and well, yesterday really put a bit of an indecision candle in there, a bit of a doji sitting into the monthly pivot there as we start moving down, looking at where we are. Still from this 4-hourly picture to me with the lower highs, it still looks like there's potential for further downside, which is also shown on the hourly picture here. Now, it may be just a case of waiting this morning a little bit. If it starts breaking through that 50, I'll just hold fire. Still short from a position on Monday, but we have been taking shorts and removing them in between. I would look at the potential of a short. Now, there is, as I said, there's a slight with yesterday's price action final candle there. It does look like, well, there's possibility that it could maybe reverse. So we'll just watch, keep a mind open. If it starts breaking above that hourly 50, may be looking more to the upside there, but my preference with the movement here is really just to be selling. So it may be I leave any upside moves here for now and just wait for opportunities to sell if it comes that way. If it changes, well, tomorrow maybe I'll be a buyer. Okay, let's have a look at the pound. So the pound, now the pound's a slightly, again, it's put that sort of reversal candle in, and to me on the more intermediate time frames, it's curving around here a little bit more. It's just got that slight more hint of bullishness sort of sitting there. It has put a couple of higher lows in on this sort of move here, very short-term move here, and it's pretty close already, or it's been pretty close to yesterday's highs. Now again, it could be a short contender. It's not made yesterday's highs. It's certainly not broken yesterday's highs yet. So from a daily perspective, it's still putting lower highs in, and it's certainly they put a new low in yesterday. Now, if we see again, we could be drawing trend lines on here and saying, well, yeah, I would prefer to be on the short side, break of this level here, and I'm going to be trying to get into a short. So it's really clearing out all these key moving averages here, the 34, 50, 21, all these moving averages. If it breaks that sort of area, I've got a pretty free movement then down towards yesterday's lows and that 60-minute 200. So that's what I'll be looking for on the downside. The upside, I think it may be a bit limited. It's got some resistance above us, but it could be the route it's showing us, and we may just get a little move down to, which will trick a few too early if they get in too early, and then bounce off that rolling of moving averages. So just holding fire for that. See what happens. Dollar yen. Now, dollar yen, from this picture again, we've got the sort of, we've had two now. We had the hanging man, now we've got the almost spinning top doji sort of candle. There is still some potential for some further downside. It did put a pattern in that may suggest that we could yet see it moving down towards that untouched weekly pivot. It air kissed it back here, so it may be discounted a little bit, but we have got the potential for that to start rolling over again. But just need to watch it this morning. It came quite a way off yesterday's highs there, almost down to yesterday's lows actually already. But we'll see how this tracks out this morning. But certainly if it starts breaking this intermediate trend here, smaller trend time, it could be an option, or breaking that 100 MA could be an option for some further downside. So that's the dollar yen and the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar again, doji in yesterday. So again, you've got this indecision through the whole markets. There's discussion of risk off in these markets, and it just may be that people are not too sure, and its money's going to elsewhere, but into bonds, into more safer instruments. Um, Again here, shorter term, if it starts, whoops, just going to pause here for a moment. Okay, so data's come back. So looking at the short-term Aussie dollar here on the hourly intermediate time frames, and well, that 50 MA seems to be holding providing the resistance until now. Maybe a break of that will see us pushing back. And again, with a lot of these markets, it does look, well, is the dollar going to just roll a little bit today, and we'll see these markets pushing. Doing a bit of a retracement, and it certainly looks like it could here, and a break above this sort of intermediate high here would give us a higher low, and may see the Aussie move back towards yesterday's highs there. Certainly in scope with the R1 up there. So erring that way. However, he says, before we leave it to, I'll just get too bearish. A break there again. We've got a trend line break potential at the lows here. A break of that may give the sort of green light for shorts down towards yesterday's lows and the S1. Okay, Canadian dollar. Oil's holding up around about $45 as we speak. Canadian dollar, well, it was has all got sold off temporary yesterday. So did the Canadian dollar. It's got an inverted hammer there sitting. It's not really giving me too much. Still got this weekly pivot, monthly pivot above, which could cause a bit of a draw there. And there is the potential for a push upside, but if the dollar starts weakening, I think we would be looking more likely of it running back south. Let's go down to an hourly here. So we've got the daily pivots on here, and just look where we are, and maybe in fact there is a very clear old-fashioned head and shoulders sitting across. Oops, so we can get the line on there, it'd be good. There's a old-fashioned head and shoulders sitting there-ish. So maybe if we did see a break later of the low, maybe of this current candle almost, or maybe wait and be a bit patient, wait for that 34 to be broken, but it could give a decent move back south. Okay, that's that. Finally, I did say I'd look at gold on here. For a few of us are looking at gold a lot more lately. It's moving in some lovely trends on a daily basis here, and there's opportunities if you want to follow something else that's got a bit of volatility. It's still got a weekly pivot sitting above us. It's more bearish than bullish at the moment, with lower highs, lower lows, and it's really just confirmed that through in this 4-hourly sort of session here. But when you come through to the hourly, it pretty much mirrors what we're seeing in the likes of the euro and the pound in a sense. In fact, this one is put already a slightly higher low, and it's broken. It's more like the pound, effectively more higher. Put a new high in there. So say new high. It's yesterday evening actually. Put a high there. So we could see a bit of a move to the upside there. If we see the dollar strengthening a little bit, we could see this push up a little bit as well. Sorry, dollar strength and dollar weaken a little bit. We could see this push up. Also, we could see the opposite to this is still looking at the 4-hourly and that sort of downside. And if it breaks these bunch of moving averages here, maybe we'll be on towards yesterday's low there. It's a bit of indecision at the moment, all shown by those larger time frame candles that we're seeing there. So runs through most of these markets, but we'll see how we run. That's it. News-wise today, we've got some significant news. We've got, well, the ADP data. Well, actually, before that, actually, at 12:30, we've got the ECB monetary policy meeting minutes accounts. Now, they're basically already, most of the content of that is out in the I mean, I think we've just had about every speaker, etc. We may get a bit of volatility around 12:30, but 1:15, I'm sure we'll get a bit of volatility as it started picking up a bit more now. The ADP in the last 9 months or so, it's given some bigger moves. And then That's the ADP non-farm payroll data in line ready for tomorrow. And then we've got really it's a bit of low-level Canadian data. Unemployment claims may be at 1:30, may just give a little kicker, a weekly figure though. At 3 p.m. we've got the ISM non-manufacturing, or the services PMI as we refer to it as being normally. And there is a speaker, FOMC speaker at 3 o'clock as well. So could get a bit of volatility around there. For the oil watchers at 4, we've got the crude oil inventories, which could give us a kicker with the Canadian dollar. And if you're trading crude, of course, crude oil. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.